it was quite an unfortunate incident that happened at Ariaria. And we are thinking, what is the cause of many traders lost their goods and services? And I even heard that somebody died. I don't know how
No, no,
to.
no.
No, I don't know how to treat it. So, what is the cause of this flooding that took away some of the traders had earned money, goods and services? Please, what happened?
For the purposes of emphasis, nobody died. And we thank God that there was no loss of life. Of course, most of the rains that inundated the area came during the night. Nobody sleeps in Ariaria market. It's a market that closes by 5 p.m. and it's a highly secured market. Let me start by saying that the only reason why Abia state government, led by Dr. Kezi Bazu, intervened in Ariaria vis-a-vis the ongoing remodeling of Ariaria International Market in Aba is simply because for about 46 years plus, indeed since the market was opened in 1976, there has been this perennial challenge of flooding around that area. Ariaria is located at the lowest lying area of a low-lying Aba. Aba is already low-lying, and Ariaria is at the lowest lying end of Aba. So we made a decisive intervention last year to prevent things such as what you saw a few days ago from happening. And you can see that we are making progress. The most critical reason why we are in Ariaria working today is to prevent flooding from destroying the goods of our people. And in that direction, the first thing we are doing is to raise new modern structures as shops that will be insulated from water. You will notice that along a line where we are working now, we have elevated a line so that water can flow seamlessly into the drains at Fox Road from where it will be carried to Waterside, which is our natural storm water collection point. We are hopeful that as we have more clement weather, we will go into the construction of the drains along a line and also the construction of a brand new A-line road to prevent this. So what happened in Ariaria can simply be put to number one, maybe neglect over the years by successive administrations, military and civilian, who didn't deem it fit, to make the kind of intervention Governor Ikpeazu is making now. Number two, you also need to put it down to what is happening elsewhere in the country. You saw images from Lokoja, the capital city of Kogi State. You saw images of flooding in Lagos. About 12 villages were sacked in Anambra State. More villages were sacked in Delta State. It appears to me that it's even international, to the extent that we are seeing images from Europe, from America. Maybe we have climate change right here with us, as predicted by some scientists. So within the period in question, there was a lot of rainfall in Aba, particularly the Ariaria area. For 4 consecutive days, that area was inundated by rains. And it was just unfortunate that because of the landscape of the market, the rains damaged goods of our people. And as a government, we sympathize with them. The governor has moved to support them. He's given money. He's also announced tax waivers for 2 years for those of them affected by the ongoing remodeling effort. He has also directed the immediate construction of a culvert that will channel water from a line into the drain pipe along Fox Road, which will take water either through Ososo or through Okigwe Road or through Abowure Road to Waterside. If you notice during your recent visit, you will see that that work is ongoing. The governor gave 2 weeks for the work to be done, and they've made substantial progress in delivering that. And that is just another measure we are putting in place to temporarily deal with this situation, even while we continue the job of remodeling of Ariaria.
Okay, sir. Somebody will ask, if you know that Ariaria had a low land there? Why did they construct such a big market there? Okay.
Well, I need to go back and ask those who governed Abia in 1976. Probably, I think it was about that time that Ndubisi Kano was the governor of Old Imo State. But I also understand that there was a challenge then. The people you now call traders of Ariaria International were at a Konha market. A Konha got burnt. So they were looking for a place to relocate the traders so that they won't suffer. You see, every decision of government must be located in time. Something happens and actions were taken. You can sit back here and judge them. I don't want to do that. But if you are fair to them, you will also remember that they were facing an emergency situation, and that was the area where they could get land. And indeed, even before then, everyone who understands Aba very well will recall that that area is swampy. It is actually where elephants used to go to in the olden days to drink water. That area gave Aba his name, Elephant City, Enyimba City. So it has always been like that. But what happened was that when Desam Mbakwe came, he indeed attempted to reconstruct Ariaria. But Ariaria has now grown beyond what you had in those days. It is the lot of Governor Ikpeazu to make this decisive intervention. We're only able to put together the framework for the public-private partnership that is currently executing the remodeling project late last year. And it wasn't until this April 2022 that we were able to take off. You know, to build on paper is very easy, but there are other things involved. The preparations, we made sure, for instance, that our traders did not leave the market environment. We ensured that no trader is at home even while we are doing that. We resisted the advice to holistically demolish the whole of the Ariaria International Market area. We said we'll take it in phases. At the moment, we are taking less than 10% of Ariaria in this project because we identified that place as a line, as a major source of flooding water coming from the express and the Enyimba area. So if we control that, we would have solved more than 60% of the flooding problems in Ariaria. And then we can slowly raise the rest of Ariaria to be at the level you have seen A-line now. Why we have not commenced the construction of the A-line road during this rainy season is simply because if we do so, it won't work. We need to fill that road again, fill compact, and then establish the drains on the basis of the new levels. And after that, we can then go ahead and reconstruct the road. Our target is to see if we can do all this between now and December. At least do as much as possible. Hopefully, before this administration exits, we will at least deliver a brand new, remodeled A-line area. And the next administration can then take it from there in phases so that you don't disrupt trading. We made sure we provided alternative shops to all those who used to be where we are working now and within the market environment. We didn't allow any of them to go elsewhere. It's not like moving people from a Konha to Ariaria. No, we said all the traders take up shops inside Ariaria. Those who wanted those locations said go in free of charge. Those shops belong to the government. So the government said go in free of charge. That's the directive from the governor. But some of them decided, because of location, if you understand market politics, if people are selling textile materials here, you want to be around those people. So when you have disruptions like this, people might decide not to go to a zone where they don't have people that are doing the same business with them. So some of them opted to now rent shops where they had a convergence of people in the same business line with them. And that is what has happened in Ariaria. But even then, we supported them where we thought that the property, the shop owner was being high-handed with the cost. We made decisive interventions to make sure that they understand that this is a temporary disruption and our people should not be exploited. As a government, we consider trade and commerce as one of the major pillars of development in Abia State. So we don't play with anything involving traders. And we have done a lot of work to ensure that our traders have better life. And they can attest to the fact that they are making more wealth under the watch of Governor Ikpeazu. As at the time we came on board, I like to locate every development in time. As at 2015 when we came on board, there was no single good road leading to any of the markets in Aba. Indeed, it was difficult to find any single good road entering Aba. So if you go back to Aba today and you use any good road, please note that Governor Ikpeazu's signature is on that road. And we have deliberately worked around Ariaria to deliver at least 5 good roads around Ariaria. You can enter Ariaria through the MCC axis. We reconstructed MCC road, we reconstructed Samek, we reconstructed Ososo, we even reconstructed Umule, we did Okigwe road, and we are working on Omuma road. Since Abia was created, no administration has worked on Omuma road. It's only the Ikpeazu administration that is working on Omuma road. And we have asked the contractors in Omuma road to also link the drainage channel around the Fobra through Omuma road so that they can carry water to Waterside, which is our natural storm water collection point. If you go to Ngwa Road Market, where you call Ahiohono, you will observe that nobody has complained about flooding this year. But before now, it used to be the issue. Everyone will say, Ahiohono flooded, our people are suffering. But nobody has noticed that nothing of such is happening now. Why? Because of the decisive intervention of Governor Ikpeazu along Ngwa Road and around Ngwa Road. He has delivered about 8 roads around that axis with drains. So our people are trading, and we are still remodeling blocks in Ahiohono. We've taken up 3 blocks now. 1 block is completed. Traders are returning to that block. The second block should be completed next month. Traders will return. By December, hopefully, the 3rd block will be completed. Traders will return. And then we'll continue in phases like that. We have even provided alternative accommodation for those in line 4, 5, 6, so that when we are ready to move them, they can go to that location that we have identified around the market again. Because we don't like taking traders away from their comfort zone. As a son of a trader, I know what it means to move traders away from their comfort zone. You would have noticed that when we move traders from Waterside Ahiu Dele Market, we quickly move them close by, all of them, to Good Morning Market. That's planning. That's because we understand the trading environment in Abia State. And we will continue to do more for our people because they have shown very strong support to Governor Okezi Ikpeazu, number one. They've shown faith in him for 7 years plus now. They've been with him. They've supported him. And the only debt we can pay now is to continue to deliver good governance to them until May 29, 2023, when the next administration will take over and continue from where we've stopped. You may not know this. Since the creation of Abia State, it is only Governor Ikpeazu that has made a deliberate attempt to have a plan, a physical plan for Aba, Umuahia, and Ohafia. So whatever others were doing before that time, they were just working randomly. No set plan. The same way that it is only Governor Ikpeazu that has delivered the 30 years economic planning blueprint to Abia State. So what that means is that other administrations, civilian and military, were just working randomly. The other one, but you see now, because we have a scholar in governance, he brought in UN Habitat to work with him, and part of the plan for Aba will be implemented by this administration. We have identified parks in Aba. You will notice that Aba does not have parks again, where children can go and play and people can go to relax. We have identified locations, about 5 of them in Aba, and the UN Habitat Agency is coming in to commence work there. Well, I can tell you the locations where they are in Aba, but I'm not sure that is why you have this interview. It's also part of our effort to deliver better life to our people, particularly the traders in Aba. Right now, we have worked on Azikwe Road. It's a major trading axis. We have holistically reconstructed Azikwe Road. We put street lights, and Treasure, let me say this with every sense of modesty. Before the coming of Governor Ikpeazu, there was no single street light owned by Abia state government in Aba. Not even one or two. Nah. No single traffic light installed by Abia state government in Aba, whether military or civilian. Today, we have deployed more than 5,000 units of street lights in Aba alone. We have deployed in Umuahia. We are deploying across the state. Even my community received about 140 street lights, and that was complemented by my people, the philanthropists in my community. If you enter Abia at night, you will think that you are in London. The same thing is happening in Aba. It is also Governor Ikpeazu that is the first to deliver traffic lights in Aba. This will, I'm sure you will find it funny. The famous Enyimba City.
You don't have traffic lights.
Never before the coming of Governor Ikpeazu. Go to Mevatin now. This is the first time Mevatin Ezuku reconstructed holistically. Governor Ikpeazu is heading to cemetery market. Anytime you see Governor Ikpeazu doing roads in Aba, he is looking at a market. He's on his way to a market, an economic center, so that more people will benefit. He will not find him constructing a road because it leads to the home of his political associates. He will not construct the road to my house in Aba unless my house connects to a major market. And that's how it has been. If you go to the Ngwa Road area, people are happy. The transformation around there is massive. Properties, the prices of properties have gone up. If you also go to the Here area, people are happy. You go to where you have a Konha market, the people are seeing the signs that there is a governor that cares. And the assurance I want to give is that we will continue to move in that direction. And I thank the traders. The traders met with the governor, and he personally expressed his condolences, gave them some cash reward himself directly, and they were happy to receive it, because what that cash meant was just to support them. It wasn't meant to compensate them for what happened. It was not something that the government did deliberately. You only compensate for what you have done deliberately. It was nature at work. And people must note that given the volume of rainfall Aba has received this year, that it is because of deliberate actions of Governor Ikpeazu over the years that the whole of Aba is not inundated by flood. If you go to Lokoja, see the level of water at Lokoja, you will begin to appreciate what Governor Ikpeazu did at Aba, because Aba is lower lying than Lokoja. Aba receives more rain than Lokoja. The only city in Nigeria that matches Aba in terms of volume of rainfall is Lagos. And you can see what flood, even with the best intentions of the government of Lagos State, you can see what flooding has done in Lagos. But Aba is relatively safe because there is a governor who, since 2015 when he came on board, took interest in making sure, one, that Waterside is partially dredged to receive more storm water. Two, the major drainage ways in Aba are opened. Three, no road construction happens in Aba without drainage on both sides under the watch of Governor Ikpeazu. You won't do it.
Okay, sir.
Four, making sure that he delivers road with rigid pavement technology. And I'm sure our people appreciate all that.
Okay, sir. This intervention people are doing in Asaba, how soon will it be completed? And if it's completed, will the flood not disturb the people again? That's what.
Our expectation is that with what we are doing along A-line Ariaria,
Yes.
more than 70% of the flooding challenge in the Ariaria area will immediately be arrested. Now, the remaining ones will be taken up as you do the remodeling in phases. We saw the critical entry point for the storm water. And that critical entry point is along A-line axis. So we are solving that problem. After we have solved it, we have not acquired the capacity to stop rains from falling. There will still be different levels of discomfort to those who are outside that area. But 70% of the problem would have been arrested. So I can say to you that by the time we finish this year with what we are doing, you won't have that problem in A-line again. You will probably have it elsewhere in a limited manner because it is airline that is supplying the storm water to the rest of Ariaria International Market.
Oh, okay. Okay. You know, Enyimba City, we came through Enyimba. We entered Okada to came through Enyimba. And that place is not good at all. I don't know.
That's exactly the point. It is from that Enyimba axis that the storm water is coming. Like I mentioned planning. Planning is critical. And every government should embrace it, enforce it, do whatever you can. It might not bring you accolades in the immediate, but you would have solved generational problems. Around the Enyimba area, did you notice that all kinds of buildings have been randomly, high-rise buildings have been randomly constructed? Water is no longer flowing. Indeed, close to Ariaria, water has literally swallowed half of one house. Now, I don't know who approved those plans when they did, but that person has not done favors to the people of Abia State. You can't even do a 7-meter width road around there. If you notice, they close the road. For you to construct a good road there, you must also put adequate drainage. So you need even more than 7.2, 7.3 meters for you to do what you have to do there. And then, when the federal government awarded the contract for the reconstruction of Enugu-Port Harcourt Express Road, the Abia axis, they failed to include water management in terms of drainage. So the water from the express is moving through the Enyimba axis and passing straight through Ariaria A line. In fact, if you see the surge, the speed of the surge, then you will appreciate the intervention of Governor Ikpeazu at this time.
Thank you very much, sir. We just hope that this intervention will at least minimize whatever is happening at Ariaria.
Certainly it will.
Because people are wailing and crying that their goods are lost and everything.
Let me make this known. Every honest person in Ariaria will tell you that this is a problem they have lived with for more than 46 years. They've lived with this problem for more than 46 years. And now there is a government that has made an intervention. And they should patiently support, work with that government, and see that we solve this problem to a large extent. Before now, even as a small boy, and now you know how old I am, schooling in Asiama Community School, Abia, I knew about the flooding challenge in Ariaria. As a secondary school boy, I knew about the flooding challenge in Ariaria and Ahiohoro. I actually witnessed the interventions of late Chief Mbakwe, Sam Mbakwe, in Abia, and the extent of the work he has done. And we are enormously proud of him. But by the time historians look at the papers, historians might be inclined to believing that Dr. Okezi Ikpeazu has even done more profound work. And I'm very shocked at.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Commissioner for